Pyth Network price prediction for 2025, $10 or even higher. Imagine if you had bought Chainlink right at the beginning. That's exactly how it feels with Pyth Network right now. The question is, can Pyth really reach $10 in 2025? Or is it all just hype? I've analyzed the data, the roadmap, and the token, and the results might surprise you. And at the end of the video, you'll get a clear verdict from me, an opportunity or a trap. Welcome to 10x Crypto, your channel for honest data-driven altcoin analysis. My name is Marius, and my background is actually in quality management. That's where I learned that decisions should never be based on gut feeling alone, but always on clear data. That's exactly why my passion and my 10 times formula were born. With my exclusive formula, I analyze altcoins based on 20 key metrics. I rate each one from 0 to 10. At the end, you'll get a clear result in %, 4 different price scenarios, and the vision 2030. What could still happen with the price by 2030? At the end, you'll also get a chart analysis, and I'll show you what I would do right now: buy, sell, or wait. My goal is simple: to give you clarity in a market full of hype. So if you're looking for data-driven altcoin analyses and want to know which altcoins truly have massive potential, then subscribe to my channel now. Here, you make decisions based on facts, not hype. But attention, a disclaimer. My channel is not financial advice, but purely for informational purposes. What exactly is the Pyth Network? In essence, it's a decentralized oracle service similar to Chainlink. It provides real-time, highly precise financial market data, but directly on the blockchain. What's special is that the data doesn't come from third-party sources, but directly from exchanges and institutions, which of course makes it something unique. With this, Pyth really solves a huge problem: inaccurate and slow price feeds that make DeFi insecure. How is Pyth set up technically? It works with 125 data publishers, including major exchanges like Market Maker. The data is provided via the pool-based Oracle system, and that means users can query current prices directly. And with over 100 blockchains that Pyth is already running on, the network is extremely broadly positioned. It already secures over 50 billion in assets today. The market cap is around 900 million. And what's exciting is that they have a maximum supply of 100 billion tokens. So more than half is already in circulation. In addition, it also has a strong roadmap, making it a direct competitor to Chainlink. So if DeFi and real-world assets continue to grow, then reliable data feeds will be needed. And that's exactly where Pyth could really become the backbone of the financial and blockchain world. So the question isn't just whether Pyth will reach $10, but rather how big the market will become that Pyth is currently building itself into. So before we dive into the full analysis, grab yourself a coffee and leave a like for me. And if you want to support me, become a 10 times supporter on YouTube. That would massively help my channel. Thank you very much. Pyth currently has a market cap of around $900 million, putting it roughly at rank 81. That places it in the mid-cap sector. In 2019, Solana was in a similar position, and we know how the journey continued from there. Here in this area, a strong 9. Next, the circulating supply. 57.5% of the tokens are already in circulation. That protects against extreme inflation, even though future unlocks could, of course, still put pressure on it. But many coins only have 5 to 10% in circulation at launch. That naturally creates a massive risk of dumping. But here, Pyth is clearly much better. A strong 8. Next, the roadmap. The roadmap is actually quite exciting. After more than 100 blockchains, now with phase 2 for institutional data feeds starting from Q4. Imagine having US economic data directly on Chainlink. That's not just DeFi, that's infrastructure. A strong 9. Next, the team. CEO Mike Wallets and ex-Jump TradingView CTO Jayant, an expert in scalable systems. If you have high-frequency traders on your team, then you know how to process data quickly. A strong new one. Narrative. Pyth presents itself as the price layer of global finance. That fits perfectly with the trend toward tokenization, for example, and with trade-free DeFi bridges. A strong 9. So what problem are they solving? Slow data in the DeFi sector. The solution: Pyth delivers real-time data from 125 publishers. Without oracles, there would be no lending protocols or derivatives. Pyth makes them more secure. And what's special about it? A strong 10. Next, sustainability. Pyth runs on Solana and similar platforms. with extremely low energy consumption. No mining, no waste. The focus is on data. In this area, a strong 8. So what about capital? They are backed by Castle Island Ventures, Borderless Capital, and Acuna Capital. These names are no coincidence. They invest in future-oriented projects. So only in projects that truly have massive potential, otherwise they wouldn't put any money in. A strong 9. Now let's move on to the competitors. Of course, Chainlink is the top dog, but Band, for example, is also in the game. They're all in the Oracle game, but Pyth scores points with speed and first-party data. That's extremely strong, which is why it gets an 8. And by the way, if you're interested in more altcoins, I've analyzed many others, including Chainlink, by the way. I'll link it up here for you, so check out the playlist, the 10x Universe. There are lots of exciting altcoins there, as well as news, everything I do. Have fun with it. Let's move on to marketing. Pyth organizes meetups, airdrops, and educational content. Not over the top, but solid. That's why it also gets an 8 in this category. Next, how simple is the idea? In the end, Pyth is easy to explain. Real-time price data on the blockchain. That's basically a simple sentence, but with a billion-dollar impact. A strong 9 in this category. By the way, did I explain Pyth to you simply at the beginning? Let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear your opinion. What is the long-term vision? The goal is to become the standard for global financial data with a $50 billion market. That's a massive market and an ambitious goal. Strength 9. Then it's deflationary. It has a max supply of 10 billion tokens. This isn't an inflation issue, but also there's no burn mechanism, so it's more neutral when it comes to burning. Still a strong token dynamic of 8. Next, what does the fully diluted market condition look like? At 1.7 times the market cap, which means it's very healthy. Here we have a strong 9. Next, how is the liquidity? Volume is 280 million with a 902 million market cap, which gives a ratio of 0.24. That means they are extremely liquid and the coin is in high demand. 10. Next, how was the token distribution? It has a clear plan with unlocks. This has created transparency, even though there's still a big wave coming in 2026. You absolutely need to keep that in mind. A strong 8 here. Top coin holder? The top 100 wallets are well distributed. There is no single whale that is extremely dominant in any way. Solid 7. So what is the benefit? The Pyth token is used for staking, governance, but also access to premium data. So the utility is there and grows with each new data feed. Strong 9. Then how strong is the community? Over 75,000 on Discord. Over 250,000 on X. Strong growth, lots of events. In this area, really a strong 9. And by the way, are you also a holder of Pyth or are you a fan of it? Write Pyth, #Pyth in the comments so the community notices these videos and so other retail investors become aware as well. Extremely important, write it in the comments. So what events are coming up in the next 6 to 12 months? In Q4 of this year, institutional data feeds. Then in May 2026, as mentioned, a major token event. You have to be careful with that. But the data points are crucial. A strong 8 in this area, because they still have something important for the future. Honestly, the Pyth network actually surprised me. It's rare to see a project that connects so many blockchains yet is so underestimated at the same time. In my 10 times formula, or rather on my 10 times ranking list, they achieve 76.9% and land solidly in the middle of my 10 times ranking list. But they still have massive potential. The most important points, the market cap is still relatively low, under $1 billion. So there's still room to grow. The roadmap is strong and above all geared towards institutions. A clear growth factor, a strong community with over 250,000 followers and still growing. Of course, there are also risks. As I said, in 2026 the pressure on the price could increase massively. But maybe by then the altcoin season will already be over anyway. And it will happen afterwards, in the bear market. But all in all, I see the Pyth network as one of the most exciting Oracle altcoins alongside Chainlink. But the investment is not a sure thing. However, anyone who believes in DeFi, tokenization and oracles should definitely keep an eye on this project. If you want to know whether I hold it in my personal portfolio or which altcoins I actually hold in my personal portfolio, then check out Xenix Elite. It's exactly the right thing for you. On the one hand, you'll get access to my Zenix ranking list, which I mentioned earlier. Full access, really, and you'll get insight into my portfolio, but also much more. I'll link a tutorial up here, feel free to check it all out. Take your time to watch it first, and here's a QR code that takes you directly to the app. Take a look, it's extremely exciting, and that way you'll be perfectly prepared for the altcoin season. Now we come to the question everyone is interested in. Where could the price of Pyth end up in the long run? And to be completely honest with you, the scenarios are more exciting than I initially thought. The bear scenario. Here we see Pyth at under $1. This happens if adoption stalls, DeFi cools off, and the big unlock event hits. In that case, Pyth really remains more of a niche project, solid but without much hype. Normal scenario. We're talking about $2 to $3 this year. Here the network is growing step by step. More blockchains, more data, more feeds, but no explosive growth. There would still be a good increase, but not massive growth. An optimistic scenario. PS could go towards $5 to $10. Why? Because the demand for reliable on-chain data is huge. If institutions get involved, that could really turbocharge things. And now we come to the extremely optimistic scenario. In the extremely optimistic scenario, I see Pyth really as one that can actually surpass $10. That would be the moment when, as I said, Pyth could compete with Chainlink, for example. Here we're talking about a market cap in the billions and being in the top 20. But what about 2030? Remember, 2030, by then there will be another bear market, but what could the price look like in 2030? Here, if all financial data runs entirely on Chainlink. On Pyth, it could be a scenario where they reach $30 to $40. That might sound crazy right now, but that's exactly the vision the project is working towards. And if you want to buy, sell or trade Pyth networks or other assets, then I recommend my partner exchange. With my code as an exclusive 10 times viewer, you'll get an exclusive trading bonus. And that's only for a limited time, so definitely sign up or click here on the QR code to go to the exchange. Have fun and thank you for your support. Now let's move on to my chart analysis. What does my chart analysis say? Let's take a close look at the current situation. What would I do right now? Buy, sell, or just do nothing at all? All of that right now. Yes, hello, and welcome to my chart analysis. As always at the beginning, I'm a long-term investor, I'm not a day trader or leverage trader. But what I do is, I basically use TradingView and a specific indicator to find entry or exit points. For example, I do dollar cost averaging. Let me give you a very quick example. Here, for example, are points where we were in the oversold area or up here in the overbought area. In other words, oversold means entry points and overbought is more for exit points or taking partial profits. And for example, I would always look for entry points at these spots here. Or just do dollar cost averaging and enter here. And when we're in the overbought area, then I would look for exit points again. Or just take partial profits. So what does it currently look like with Pyth? Right now, we're more in the middle range. So if anything, I would have looked for an entry point down here. I would have looked for an entry point. Now it would be a bit too risky and too late for me. At this point, I'd rather look for opportunities to take partial profits or exit the market completely, depending on how strongly the altcoin season is about to start. If the Central Bank of America hopefully lowers interest rates soon and continues to do so, then probably 1 or 2 months after that. We'll see a strong altcoin season. But as I said, this is not financial advice, just my personal opinion. In any case, I would definitely wait here for now. We had a pretty good push upwards, as you can see here. There, 200%, and it's still over 100%. That's why my current position is that I would wait for now. And if you want to know when I start buying again, when I get back in, or when I exit, then check out the 10x Elite. There I share updates once a week. I really share news from the entire market, but also as soon as I notice changes in the market and take action, you'll be informed in the 10x Elite. Take a look at it, it's definitely extremely exciting. If you like this forecast and analysis, then click right now to go to the next analysis. There you'll find an altcoin that might have even more massive potential. Click here and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any more altcoin analyses right down here. Thanks for your support and see you soon.